Hi YouTube! Do you know what's important to you? We're going to talk about that today for your life and for your business in part 3 of our social media outreach planning series. So smash that like button, don't forget to subscribe, and stick around to find out why I'm dressed like I'm ready for an outdoor hunting excursion. I run what I think of as come as you are called businesses, which is why I'm dressed like this today. It's cold by Texas standards, and I'm about to go take care of animals and land, as I do every day. That's part of my work, it's part of my job, it's part of my calling, it's part of what God's put before me. And so the way I figure, anything that He has put before me, especially the things that He has put before me now, require me to show up. I want to show up to the best of my ability. I want to show up as appropriately as possible, which is why sometimes you see me in more corporate attire, looking made up and polished. But sometimes you see me like this, in camo. You don't know if I'm going to go muck a stall or go hunting or what's happening, right? God called me now, this hour, this morning, to go take care of some animals. In the wind, some passing rain, we had some tornadoes in the area last night, and in the cold. So I'm going to show up. That's a value. Show up. Come as you are called. It's a core organizational value, and it permeates everything that I do and everything that God has built for me. So how do you show up? What's important to you? Do you come as you are called? Do you wait to be polished and primped and feel like you're prepared? Which is a total misnomer and makes me laugh because I don't think we're ever ready for anything that God calls us for, because part of the calling is to develop and draw us closer to Him, and we can never be too close to Him. Therefore, we're never done developing. So come as you are called. And don't get me wrong, perhaps you're called to show up dressed to the nines, polished every day in an office. I am not downplaying that or minimizing that at all. There's a lot of integrity and value in work that occurs in offices and more conventional settings. But there's value to this too. And so when you're trying to decide and articulate your values so that you can communicate them clearly and consistently across your businesses, including through social media outreach, how are you going to show up? How have you been called? And are you willing to show up however, whenever, and wherever you are called? Let's keep walking. Let's keep talking. And more coffee. Welcome to the barn. It's quiet in here, at least. Thank you for your patience with the wind. So when I think about organizational values and I think about organizational obedience, I think about this barn. As I mentioned, I've worked in this barn every day for 6 years. And I prayed for at least 4.5 of those years to be free from this barn. I thought that working in a barn, it's a beautiful way of life for my daughter, for whom I'm solely responsible. Is it really the best use of a Naval Academy education, right? I'm smart, I'm well trained, I have other gifts and talents. Come on, God, why are you putting me in a barn? And for years, I prayed, because I was convinced that my own values were of greater use and of greater importance to the kingdom and glory of God than what He wanted from me. And He made it very clear that what He wanted from me was to stay right here in this barn. Because nothing ever quite worked out to get me out of it. And it has been the most beautiful, incredible ride since I accepted His will and became obedient to it about 4.5 years in. First of all, He actually started bringing help that though I live here, I do not work here every day anymore. He brought helpers, and they are blessed by work here too. And He's given me some incredibly powerful moments here and given the nonprofit, the Xena Project, powerful moments here too. He's brought me healing, grace, and allowed me to see his glory. But I had to become obedient to his will first, and I had to change and adapt my organizations and my organizational values to match his, not mine. So where are you resisting? Where is God trying to hold you? Where is he trying to teach you? And you're wriggling like a worm to get free, and he just won't let you. What would happen if you became still? What would happen if you truly embraced organizational obedience as one of your core values? Can't hurt. You don't have anything to lose. If you're already wriggling, you're already uncomfortable, right? Become still. Pray for guidance. Pray for his values, his vision, his clarity to come upon you as you seek to outline and articulate the values of your business and work. Let's meet some animals. These are the chickens who live in the barn. Now, chickens taught me the value of doing the do. Here's one thing you may not know about chickens, unless you live with them, unless you have them. Chickens go about their business. It doesn't matter the weather, doesn't matter the temperature, doesn't matter the political climate, whatever drama is going on at the time. Chickens do chicken things every day. I've seen these guys go out in ice storms, pecking and hunting the ground. I have seen them in 130-degree weather. I have seen them fight with each other. I have seen them love each other every single day. Chickens do chicken things. No excuses, without fail. When other creatures are looking for shelter, looking for warmth, looking for rest, chickens are out being chickens. So who and what are you, no matter what? For me, I know I am a person of faith, no matter what. It took me nearly my entire life to come to Jesus, and I will not give that up for anyone, anything, no way, not happening. I'm a person of creative joy. I lost that for a long time due to struggles with depression, trauma, and just life stuff, life journeys we all have in common. But now that I have faith and now that I have creative joy, they form the bedrock, and all of my other organizational and business values trickle down from these. So what are yours? What are the things that, like a chicken, you're never going to give up? What are the things that you're going to do every day? To use some military lingo, what are the hills that you'll die on? What are the things that you promise to uphold and protect? Welcome to my favorite site in the barn. See that little head popping up? Looking at you with those big eyes? It's not a horse at all. That's Romeo llama. Romeo was brought to the Xena Project by the Fort Bend County Sheriff's Office. He was loose and running free for months. It took all the livestock deputies months to catch him. And he was basically unhandleable, right, big guy? I know, I'm bringing your breakfast. It took us 5 months to get a halter on him. More months to trim his feet, groom him, that kind of stuff. And now he comes into a barn every single night. Here's the thing that Romeo has taught me. First, he's taught me joy. I feel such joy. Look how amazing he is. He's intelligent, he's smart. He's in a pony halter right now, by the way, if you're a llama person watching this. His actual llama halter is being fitted, and that works okay for him. That's still a safe solution. He's smart, he's curious, he's joyful. And even though it took some time for Romeo to become as tame as we needed him to be to work for the Xena Project. It took some time, but good things often do. And he could not be more worth it. And this is the stay part of ministry. This is the day in, day out work. This is the incremental tasking, to use a term that the for-profit sector loves, right? These are the same tasks day in, day out that sometimes are boring and sometimes you meet with failure. We spent months with me just standing in the middle of a pen waiting for Romeo Llama to let me within 10 feet of him. And the first few times we haltered him, we had to pen him in into an increasingly small space until we could finally get a hand on him. It was not because he allowed it. And actually, the time before that, he jumped like a deer out of his enclosure, and mass drama ensued because it's like, oh my gosh, I didn't even know llamas could jump that high. Pro tip, they can. But you get my point, right? It's day in and day out of slow, incremental work. So what are you working on? How is God working on you? What can you learn from this llama? That llama right there. That's the llama. And when are you going to let God touch you? When are you going to let his work and his will touch you and invade every part of your being? There's a safe, warm barn for you, people who love you, and work to be done that will give you meaning and purpose the rest of your life. Are you open to it? Are you doing the work day in, day out to find it and allow it to permeate your being? I hope so. I can't wait to see what God is doing through you. So drop me a comment, hit the like button if you're enjoying this, or send a direct message and let me know how I can pray for you. The journey is amazing. This is a rooster that we call Solo because we've got a bunch of roosters here, and he lives mostly by himself. Now Solo, because the other roosters won't let him in with the hens, has made friends with a llama and a bunch of goats, and occasionally pops in to snuggle with a horse, which is so awesome. I love this rooster so much. And from him, I've learned about adaptability. Like the other chickens, he makes no excuses. He lives his best rooster life, every single day. His tail is thick and glossy. He's got those fantastic feathers on his feet. He's brilliant. He's happy. He's productive. He contributes. He wakes us up every morning. No excuses. It's time to make your organization grow. It's time to commit to things without apology and execute them daily without fail. It's time to have courage in our convictions. It's time to be like that rooster. There he goes, off to do God's work in the world today. This is my girl. This is Flicka. She's about 12 years old. She's a quarter horse with a lot of thoroughbred in there. And she changed my entire life. I met Flicka when I was fresh back from Afghanistan. I was seeking joy. I did not have it. I'd wanted to learn to ride horses my entire life, and so I committed to doing just that. And I met her. At the time, she was a little bit crazy, as they say. As you can see, she definitely is not now. And man, have we had a journey, baby girl. Haven't we? Journey would be an understatement. This horse has survived illnesses and injuries and setbacks and me having to not spend time with her for a long time. You know, I was raising a daughter by myself and she kind of got put on the back burner. But here we are today. She's healthy and strong. We get plenty of time together. And I could not love her more. And from her, I've learned that joy doesn't come from performance. I've learned that joy doesn't come from metrics, professional success, or any of the other earthly measure or standard. This is joy. This is God's creation, moving in and through and all around us. So are you letting it in? It took me a long time to let Flicka in, I'll be honest. There was so much trauma and I was so shut down and overwhelmed by the demands of the world. It took me a while to fall in love with her, to let her in, to care for her the way He wanted me to. And that's a big part of the reason that He stuck me here. So I could fall in love with everything that He was putting before me. And I've had more professional success in this world than most. I've been very blessed and I work very, very hard. But nothing compares to the feeling of this. So what has God put before you that is to bring you joy? Where is He sticking you? What is He doing with you and with your life? And are you listening? Are you paying attention? Are your priorities the way they should be? Are you putting the first things first? If you're not, the best time to change is today. The best hour to change is now. The best minute to take action is this one. The best time to fall in love, the best time for the joy is now. What do you value? What is before you now? Here's the other thing to know. If God brings you to a barn, at the end of every morning, there will be hay in your coffee. You, however, will be so happy that you won't even notice. If you enjoyed today's video and meeting all the animals, please hit the like button and let me know. And don't forget to subscribe so that you don't miss a moment, including the rest of this series on social media outreach planning. We're going to head back to the indoor office to close with the word of scripture. See you there. All right, we're back inside to finish up our conversation about organizational values. Part 3 in the social media outreach planning for Christian projects, businesses, and ministry series. Thank you for walking about with me outside this morning and seeing a little bit of the places and creatures that have taught me the most about my values and my organization's values. If you haven't downloaded the planner yet, please make sure that you check out the link that's in the description below, get your free planner so that you can follow along in this conversation. The first week, we talked about an overview of your business and what's it about. The second week, we talked about performance indicators. How are you going to know when you're successful, and what are you going to do to protect yourself, your energy, and your time as you walk into social media outreach and full-fledged social media engagement. And then this week we talked about organizational values. This is the how of your business. How are you going to do business? What matters to you and why? When things happen that are outside of the plan that you initially developed, you're going to fall back on these original theories and values that you're taking the time to formulate now in the beginning of the planning process as your guideposts and your markers to make decisions in the future. So that's why we put strategy first, and we do the thought work, the mind mapping work, the prayer work here in the beginning, and then we start talking about tactics and logistics. As we always do, let's take this one to scripture. We're in Psalm 127, verse 1, and I'm reading from the King James Version. Except the Lord build the house, they labor in vain that build it. Except the Lord keep the city, the watchman worketh but in vain. What's it mean? Unless God is guarding your project, guarding your city, guarding you, and guiding you, your work is in vain. We must root everything that we do firmly in Him. I can't wait to see what unfolds as you develop and articulate your own values and put them into place in your social media outreach strategy. If this conversation has been of value to you, please remember to hit that like button and don't forget to subscribe
so that you don't miss a thing in the weeks and the remainder of this series to come. Thank you for being here with me, and until next time, have a happy day.
If you need more llama in your life, and here's a hint, you definitely do, don't forget to hit the subscribe button so you don't miss a moment.